You've probably heard of the movie character he inspired, right? But the story of the real man? Oh, it is so much more incredible. Today, we're diving into the true story of a modern-day hero who is, and this is not an exaggeration, literally building glaciers by hand.
So many of us remember that brilliant, kind of quirky inventor Phunsukh Wangdu, a character who honestly inspired millions. But what if I told you the real person isn't just an inventor? He's a revolutionary who completely turned an education system on its head and is now fighting for the very future of the Himalayas. Yeah, the real story is something else entirely. So his name is Sonam Wangchuk, and his journey is just a masterclass in creative problem solving. We're going to explore how he took on a shocking 95% student failure rate, then invented a way to create artificial glaciers, and eventually became the leading voice for his people. All right, so our story starts in the starkly beautiful high-altitude desert of Ladakh. But underneath all that beauty, there was this quiet crisis brewing, one that was seriously threatening to wipe out the future of an entire generation. Just look at this number, 5%. It's staggering. Back in the mid-90s, only 5% of students in Ladakh were passing their official state exams. I mean, think about that for a second. That's a 95% failure rate. How can any community possibly survive when its children are being left behind on that kind of massive scale? So, what on earth was going wrong? Well, the system was just completely broken. Try to imagine you're a kid in a remote mountain village and you're forced to learn from textbooks that talk about oceans and big cities you've never even seen, all in a language that isn't your own. These kids weren't just struggling, they were literally being set up to fail.
So, faced with this total disaster, Sonam Wangchuk didn't just suggest a few minor tweaks. No way. He decided to basically tear down the old system and build something entirely new, a real revolution in learning for the youth of Ladakh.
He started an institution that would become, well, legendary, SECMOL. Founded way back in 1988, this wasn't just another school. It was a radical experiment in education, one that was designed for Ladakh by Ladakhis.
And this was a complete 180 in thinking. You know, it was this massive shift away from just memorizing irrelevant facts to a hands-on approach where students actually learned by solving real-world problems right there in their own communities.
And the best part? This idea didn't stay stuck on one campus. It was the engine behind Operation New Hope, a huge collaborative project that reformed the entire system. And the result? That dismal 5% pass rate didn't just climb, it skyrocketed, giving a whole new generation a real shot at success.
But, Wangchuk realized that even the best education in the world doesn't mean much if your world is literally disappearing. He saw a new existential threat looming over the Himalayas: climate change.
You see, the lifeblood of this high-altitude desert is the water that comes from melting glaciers. But those glaciers were vanishing at a terrifying rate. This meant that by the time the crucial spring planting season rolled around, the streams were running dry, putting the very survival of these farming communities at risk.
And this is where Wangchuk's innovative thinking really shines. He came up with something called the ice stupa. The whole concept is just beautifully simple. You take the winter water, which there's plenty of, pipe it downhill, and then spray it up into the freezing air. This creates a massive cone of ice, basically an artificial glacier, that melts slowly in the spring, giving water to the farmers exactly when they need it most.
So you see, this wasn't just some clever invention. It was a lifeline. It's a low-tech, community-driven solution to a very high-tech, global problem. And for this incredible work, he was awarded the prestigious Ramon Magsaysay Award, which is often called Asia's Nobel Prize. So he's tackled education, he's tackled water scarcity, but Sonam Wangchuk's journey took another turn. He evolved from an innovator into an activist, becoming this powerful voice for the very soul of his homeland.
So in 2019, Ladakh's political status changed. And while that brought some benefits, it also opened the door to new dangers. Real fears that huge industrial projects and outside exploitation could destroy the region's fragile ecosystem and its unique culture.
So, to protect his homeland, Wangchuk started advocating for a powerful constitutional tool, inclusion in the Sixth Schedule. You can think of it like a protective shield for tribal areas, giving them the power to make their own decisions about their land, their resources, and their future.
And he didn't just, write a few letters. He took his fight to the streets, leading movements and even undertaking these long, climate-focused hunger strikes to grab the nation's attention. He truly became the face of the demand for protections to make sure Ladakh's future is shaped by its own people.
So the really crucial point here is this. You just can't put Sonam Wangchuk in a single box. He's this incredible fusion of educator, innovator, and activist. All of his work, everything he does, is woven from the exact same thread. A deep, deep love for the Himalayas and a fierce determination to protect them.
And that really leaves us with a final thought. Sonam Wangchuk's story is so much more than just an inspiring tale from the mountains. It's really a challenge to all of us. What are the impossible problems in our own communities? And what simple, elegant, local solutions are we maybe overlooking?